Welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're watching and reacting to CSD Xelajú MC versus Estelí FC, CONCACAF Central American Cup 2025 Group D. We have an interesting tournament to play. Estelí playing their second game of the group stage, playing Xelajú, who, if Estelí does not win this game, they are pretty much eliminated from group advancement possibilities. Xelaju's on 6. Olympia's on 6. This is Xelaju's third match. Olympia's on a bye week. Estelí's coming off their bye week. It's going to be interesting. Estelí has to win this game on the road, which that's the tough part. Independiente de la Chorrera 3-1 Verdes. Yep, Independiente beat Verdes today, yes. Starting 11s, we'll talk about once they show them because CONCACAF's website is on the fritz. It is. All right. With that being said, if this game sucks and it's like a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw, I'll just do the stream and be done with it. If this game's worth reviewing, we'll review it. Just to be clear. With that being said, CSD Xelajú MC contra Real Estelí FC en la Copa Centroamericana de la CONCACAF. Grupo D. Fase de grupos. The third match for Xelajú, the second for Estelí on match day 3. Estelí has to win this if they want any chance to advance. Estelí lost to Olympia in their only match. So that's not good for Estelí. They're still on the road here against the team who are sitting in second place. That'll tell you a whole hell of a lot. They're in Guatemala tonight, Estelí. If they were playing at home, I'd be less worried because they don't lose at home. But the good news is their last 2 matches are at home. They've played both their away matches. Their toughest matches are away matches. But if they win this, one of Olympia or Xelajú has to lose to each other. Or, well, they could draw each other. But, yes. Well, it's a ram. I thought it was a ram. But goat, okay. The way they put the horns on the logo made me think ram. But I guess, isn't a ram a goat, actually? Hold on. A ram's not a goat, it's a male sheep. Well, there you go, I guess. Okay. Because they're a freaking Premier League team that has like $1 billion put into their squad. Of course they should. They also made the Club World Cup look pretty easy besides the Flamengo match. But other than that, but again, with the squad that they have, maybe they should. Teams are walking out. We're getting ready to go. No. Xavi Simons. Probably more than Garnacho, but honestly, no. Estelí has to win this game if they want any chance to advance to the next round of this tournament. They have to win out, but they certainly have to win this match. We'll talk about the starting 11s when they show it. No. If it would had to be used in the summer transfer window, they wouldn't be stocking it up. I think if it's used within a calendar year is the rule. I'm not saying it's non-fungible. It does expire, but as long as it's used, I think it does expire, but as long as it's used within the calendar year from when you receive it. So by next summer, if they don't use it by the end of next summer, they can't use it. But that'll be along with what they give us for our balance charge of it for next year, if I recall correctly. So we'll have what, plus $100,000 a GAM or some of that ilk. With a lot of our players coming off contract, that's a good way to be, I guess. Starting 11 for Xelajú: Silva, Tebalan, Ruiz, Romero, Gonzalez, De Silva, Aparicio, Cardona, Diaz, Baez, and Lopez for Xelajú. Yes, I'm happy I'm not a Tottenham fan. Yes. Similar, but not exactly. Center ref, Waldir Garcia. Look. I mean, Vilsant's a solid player, though. But either way, Parker, Gutierrez, Vargas, Nino, Delgado, Preciado, Cole, Aranda, Gomez, Hernandez, and Ordonez. Bonilla is on the bench. Makes me feel like they're trying to throw this. It's weird. I mean, I won't miss Matty. No, I won't miss him. I think Vilsant has a lot of talent as a player. I think he's a very talented player. He's got a high upside. We need a striker, and I'm not saying he's going to be the main guy, but if he can be the main guy, that would be good. So we'll see. Here we go. Edson Alvarez is leaving West Ham. That doesn't surprise me. Here we go. Game about to get going. Real Estelí have gone to the final 2 straight years of this tournament. I don't know if that'll stay a thing. Oh. But well, they did lose to them, so semifinals, and I still had them losing to Olympia. So there we go. We're off. No, for some reason, I think Sanchez don't look so bad. Playing forward. Honestly, after the Club World Cup final and his preseason performances, yes. He's leaving. They want him gone. They're getting rid of him. He's probably going to Man City, but Donnarumma's gone. If they don't sell him, he ain't playing for them. He's going to be frozen out. That was a mistake. They would have never went to penalties if he played because he at least would have had one of those goals. Chevalier's wrists are made of chocolate. Well, at least when it came to open play. Penalties, no. I think some of Tottenham's penalties really sucked, though, but I have no idea. Zekai. Arbor Zekai would beat Brady Tkachuk. Arbor Zekai, obviously. Rory, what say you if you're still here? Arbor Zekai. Zekai's... Two minutes in. Zekai's known to fight. Brady Tkachuk's just known to be a slime ball. There's a difference. I think there's a difference, but do that what you will. 2 minutes in, 0-0, settle. Independiente beat Verdes 3-1. We talked about that. Okay. Results from yesterday. I know. Ooh. Chara's still got like 1 foot on him. Chara because of the reach he has. Zekai would give it a good fight, but Chara just because of the reach and the fact he's got a foot on him. If Chara wasn't as tall as he was, I'd go Zekai. But because of reach and the fact that Chara's got a foot on him, Sedano Chara. I don't think Zekai would go down easily, but 3 minutes in. Yesterday, we had 1-0 Alianza over Managua. Group B, we had Municipal 2-1 over Real España. Hans is sad. San Miguelito 2-1 over Dillon. We have Motagua Cardenas playing as we speak. And, of course, the 12th, we had Aguila 2-0 over Hercules. Oh, yeah, I do have to keep an eye on that other score. Yeah. Corner. Ooh. Well, I don't look at Braden Shen as a fighter. Good player, but not a fighter, Biz. Header. Cleared away. Biz. I never thought of Braden Shen as a fighter. I never did. Like as in a goon. Dude's a good player, though. I'm not saying he ain't. Dude is a fighter as in tough player. Puts everything out there. But goon? No. 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 Well, Matthew would win a fight against Biz. Brady probably would too. I'm more sure Matthew would, though. Now, Keith would beat the hell out of him. Well, I mean, I like Keith the most because he was a blue. Biz probably dead. Not now. I still think old Keith would beat up Biz, but Keith during the Blues era, when he was playing on the Blues, he would kill him. Prime Keith Tkachuk would kill Biz. He would kill him. Matthew would beat him. Brady probably would, but I'm more sure that Matthew would beat Biz than Brady. But I'm still more sure Keefe, no matter if it was old Keith or prime Keefe, would beat up Biz. Prime Keefe would have killed him with his fist, though. Ball crossed in. Shot. Goal! Xelajú! 1-0. It's over for Estelí if they can't come back from this. Estelí's run as Cinderella's might be over. He's on loan, so unless they buy him, which would be stupid, no. I think the loan payment is static. There is a goal for Diaz. Diaz scores, makes the run, and taps it in front of the mouth of goal. What a cross. Onside. Well, there's no VAR anyway, so it doesn't matter. If it's a goal, it's a goal. He gets a yellow card for taking off the shirt. Yilton Diaz for Xelajú. Six minutes in, 1-0, 1-0. And if this holds, Real Estelí has no chance to advance. They already lost to Olympia. If they lose to Xelajú, who would be on 9 points after this, they had to beat Olympia to equal them out. Unless Olympia gets beat by Xelajú, well, they'd still be on 9 points because they still have a game to play besides the Xelajú game. So, yeah, Estelí's probably cooked if they don't figure this out. Keefe Kachuk, easy. Because they got a giant chip on their shoulder, that's why. 1-0, 1-0. No, it was the champion's curse, unless you're saying that Alajuelense flipped the curse on Estelí because they won the tournament back-to-back against the same team they won both times against. Alajuelense's in danger too. Let's not forget that. Maybe it's just the natural order of things. At some point, a team that if you don't strike while the iron's hot, the iron's going to cool down and you're going to be done. I think that might be the story here, more likely than not. I would think so. I would think TFC would win the Central American Cup even with the roster they have. You would think. Going away might be more tough, but even with the situation they're in now, they'd still find a way to win this. All these teams are at the level of CPL teams and under. We've never had a problem with that. We still beat Forge over 2 legs. So do with that what you will. I don't think any of these, even Olympia, I still think MLS should have an easy time beating. Going away might suck, but at least the middle of their season. Even in the current situation they're in, yes. How we doing, Winvo? Yeah, it would be embarrassing if AEW got beat the ratings by TNA. I would love to see it. I mean, they could. Didn't say they would. 10th minute, 0-0. That'd be interesting. But then how would you run that in MLS? Like 5th place in Shield rankings, or the 5th place, like the best losing quarterfinal team from each league, or top 5 in each conference? How would you do that? Shield. Okay. I believe that. I don't think Austin, I'm going to be real. I'm going to be real. I don't think Austin Matthews is captain material. I don't. I love Austin Matthews. I think he's an amazing goal scorer, but if he has the C on his chest, I know he was injured last year. I get that. He'll be better this year. But I still think the focus, the spotlight on him is too big with the C. I don't think he has the mentality to be a captain. He's good at scoring goals. And if he scores a lot of goals, I don't think the spotlight's too big there. But the mentality in his brain, he is not a John Tavares. He is not a Matthew Tkachuk or Brady Tkachuk for that matter. That's the only positive thing I'll ever say about Brady. Brady is captain material because he is a damn good captain for Ottawa, but that's the only good thing I'll say about him. But for me, Austin Matthews is not a captain. He's not a captain. I'd rather the Leafs captain be Matthew Nyes or back to John Tavares or even Max Domi. I don't think Austin's a captain. Goalies can't be captains in hockey, at least wear the C. So I don't know if I'd want Stolarz to be a captain anyway. I like Stolarz, but I don't. Either way, I don't think Austin Matthews is captain material. I really don't. Amazing hockey player, but he ain't captain material. So same goes for the USA, really. So yeah, I agree with that. Honestly, I agree with that. Dembele. I want it to be Mo Salah, but it's probably going to be Dembele. 1-0, 1-0. Xelajú líder. Xelajú leads. Yeah. I agree. Austin had the A when he was not the captain, and he did just fine. I don't think they ever should have taken the C off Tavares. And then Tavares stayed, so... Exactly. Austin's a dog, but he ain't a leader. John Tavares still is a dog, but he's definitely a leader. He's a little bit slower, but he has his moments. I think Austin's a dog, but he ain't no leader. Even if John Tavares ain't a dog and he just completely loses it, he's still a leader. So, there you go. Cardenas Motagua still 0-0. Suzuki's a leader. I agree. And he's a dog. Playing forward. Like, if you want to put this in football terms, Jonathan Osorio, well, he used to be a dog. He's not a leader. And he's not a dog anymore. He's useless. He's useless now. He's been useless for a couple of years, but the dude is... The bad thing is Bradley lasted so damn long that Oso was always the guy to get the armband next because of the fact he's from Toronto and his history with the team, the fact he was there for so long. But now he's washed, and honestly, he's not a leader either. And he's not a dog anymore. He used to be a dog, which made you think he was a leader. Because whenever the team was bordering on shit, he saved their ass. Or at least he tried. When they're good, he had his moments, but 2018, TFC wasn't, besides the CCL, they weren't that good of a team. Oso was the only reason they were still in any sort of contention to make it to the playoffs in 2018 for as long as they were. Looking back on it, it was pretty obvious that TFC team was injured to hell and back, and they put everything into that CCL run. And once that went the way it did, all the air went out of their balloon, so to speak. Except Oso. But he did well in CCL as well. When TFC was still that TFC, he still did well in CCL. But after TFC just completely lost it, and just wasn't the same. Oso was the only reason they got close to the playoffs. There was even a chance in 2018. So there was moments like that, but that was a really good season from him. Either way, no, he's not a captain. He's not. Or he shouldn't be. Not in my book. He should barely play. Especially now they have Jordy Mihailovic. We have a number 10. An actual one who's worth a damn. But even then, we have a backup who we could use if Jordy ain't healthy, because knowing this team, right? Oso should barely play from now on. If it was up to me, he wouldn't be playing. And if he is, he was going, well, yeah, Matty Longstaff is gone, but that's a good thing. But if he is, he's coming in for Davey or Coelho. That's probably more of his speed anyway. For me, Oso, honestly, if it was me, if I was the manager, I'd put the armband on Alonso Coelho. That dude's a leader. Young player, but he's a leader. I could tell. It's probably on Tubi. I'm just watching on YouTube because it's easier. Yeah. I guess if you want it to be more safe pick of being a captain, it'd be Jordy. But either way, cross in. Brought down, Estelí, shot, goal! Tie game! Heavy deflection, but it's a tie game. We got Preciado scoring it. Put it on frame. Let's see if it's an own goal. 1-1. Takes the shot. Heavy deflection. Let's see if it's an own goal. But with that goal, as long as they win, takes the shot. Yep, deflection off a defender. Cross in off the corner. Preciado takes the shot. Question is the deflection going to get it called own goal? Carlos Preciado with a goal. So they're going to give it to him. 1-1, 1-1. Estelí still has a chance. They have to win this game. "12 minutes later, they take the equalizer back. 18th minute, 1-1, 1-1. Yeah, it's on Tubi. Okay. Yeah, Tubi just ain't. Thing just loses, like just falls behind as you're watching. So I'd rather watch it on YouTube. If I remember correctly, for the Caribbean Cup, it just is Tubi, so that's going to still have to be handled when it comes to the Caribbean Cup. 20th minute. How we doing, Winvo? I'd say it's been a half-and-half game. Estelí chased, but that was a really good set piece that definitely got helped by deflection. But Estelí has to win this game to stay alive. Didn't that just happen? Didn't that just happen this year? And didn't they get their ass kicked? Hold on. They just did. Back in February. Hold on, where's the tracker? No. Here it is. 3-0 for Tigres. Wait. Well, Tigres scored 3 goals at home. So, oh, yeah. They lost 1-0 at Estelí and then won 3-0 at home. Yeah, well, they kicked their ass at El Volcan, so there you go. So they did. So it's not a what if, it just happened. Speaking of Tubi, I think they have the replay of that game on Tubi for free. So they did. It's not a what if, they did. They just did it what? 6 months ago? It was February, so yeah, 6 months ago. Yeah. Yeah, it won't take long for him to start spamming super chats. I was like, yeah, it won't take long. I predicted the past. Okay. 22 minutes in. Then again, I'm just looking from the fact that well, then why'd you check if you have a photographic memory? I was making sure I was remembering correctly. It's always good to double check. Measure twice, paint once. Measure twice, paint once. You always measure twice. Point is, vital information for your everyday life. Always double check. Always double check. Even if you think you're right, always double check. Why? Because if you don't double check, that's the one time you're wrong. Or just to be more simple about it, measure twice, paint once. Do that what you will. Playing forward. 1-1 between Xelajú and Estelí. Oh, Estelí has to win to stay alive for advancement. If they lose, they're out. Well, they're all but out. I wouldn't say mathematically, I don't know if they'd call it yet, but they're all but out if they don't win this game. They're also all but out if they draw. Depends on how they look at it. Huh. One, 25th minute. We'll see if I... The UEFA Super Cup could become a 4-team tournament. There would be 2 semifinals and 1 final. The likely destinations would be the Middle East or the USA. Oh my God. Oh my God. Who's going to be the 4th team? Defending Super Cup winners? I get the 3 teams, champion, Europa Conference, but who's the 4th team? And why the hell are they going to play it in the Middle East or the USA? What are we doing? I'm legitimately tired of this bullshit. It's the UEFA Super Cup. What does that have to do with the United States or Saudi? Besides, if it isn't Saudi, how the hell are they going to play it in August? Or Qatar? What, you're telling me they're going to move it to damn December? When the team who's the Champions League winner has to play the Intercontinental Cup as well? I thought it was supposed to be the curtain raiser, the curtain jerker. That's what I thought it was supposed to be. They want to move it? What a joke. 27th minute. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't. La Liga should not be playing a match in Miami. The Super Cups of these countries that play Super Cups outside their own country should not be played in the Middle East. The UEFA Super Cup should not be played outside of Europe. Well, it's like if they made the CONCACAF Champions Cup final be played in Barcelona. The only guy that benefits is Lionel Messi. 28th minute. That's if he makes the damn thing. '28th minute. Some I don't understand. I don't understand it. Playing forward. '29th minute, 1-1. Uno. 'Playing forward, Estelí. Bad giveaway. They tried. Nothing there. 29th minute, 1-1. Playing forward. I'm not happy about it. Seems like Minnesota's going full Liga MX. I mean, it's not the best for sure. I mean, he deserves, if he wants to move on to Europe, he deserves to move on. Sadly enough, I guess that also means he won't be traded within MLS. Do that what you will. Playing forward, 30th minute. He's worth more than $4 million. Honestly, Tanielu Ashei is worth more than $4 million. Dude's worth more than $4 million. Like, I'm not agreeing with Minnesota. That's a good amount of money to get for him. But I believe he's worth more than $4 million. Maybe about 6 to 8. But if you're an MLS team, taking $4 million is not even bad. That's still probably one of the better transfer fees from MLS to Europe anyway. One of the best ones, I would think. I didn't say it was the best. It certainly ain't that, but... Oh, damn, that sucks. Playing forward. 32 minutes, 1-1, uno. Very even game. Third minute. Cleared away. If Estelí draws or loses, they're pretty much cooked. This game finishes this way, I probably just won't review it. Besides the goals against, not much to talk about. Cleared away out for a goal kick. Corner. Oh, yeah. Playing forward. Estelí has it. They could set something up here. Ball crossed in. Out for a goal kick. There we go. Well, that was... Yeah, Malika Olabi Belawu. Yep. Yeah, I was wondering why he wasn't on the roster last night. Yeah. Well, now we know. Malika Olabi Belawu's going to Chesterfield. Good for him. I thought he was solid. Honestly, good move. Happy for him. Happy for him, yeah. Well, that makes sense now. Why he wasn't playing against Vancouver. Oh, it's a free contract. EFL League Two side Chesterfield have agreed a deal to sign Forge defender Malika Olabi Belawu when his contract expires with the CPL team on 1st of January. So he... Okay, so he's still going to be at Forge for the rest of the year, up until the end of the CPL season. So he is going. Good for him. Corner. Yeah. Well, the Brewers have to lose too. The Cubs winning does not, I mean, if they win, good, but the Brewers have to lose 12 games as the Cubs win 12 games, but you're right. With a month and a half left, there's no way. The Cubs are cooked. The Brewers are going to win the Central, yes. I still think they'll lose somehow in the playoffs. I know there's a lot of people who want a Brewers and Blue Jays World Series. I could care less. I would rather the Jays have home field advantage than this Blue Jays thing be the World Series. And as it stands, the Blue Jays would have home field advantage through the playoffs as long as they don't play the Brewers. So, yeah. I'm not rooting against the Brewers because I have no problem with them, but I'd rather the Jays have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Well, they got to make it through each round first. I know, but Corey Ray got fired by Montreal. That's interesting. Playing forward. Xelajú has the ball. Thirty-ninth minute. Dude, I saw the article before you even brought the comment. Yes, it is Maliko Alabi Belawu. Yes. I'm happy for him, but he'll still be at Forge for the rest of the season. Goal kick. '40th minute. '41st minute. Here comes Estelí. Could they get their second goal? Could they take the lead? Cross in, header! And that'll be cleared out for a goal kick. Defender gets just dropped as well. But 1-1, uno. Oh. 41st minute. Honestly, sort of a boring game. Playing forward. 42 minutes in. 1-1, uno. Getting close to the second half. Or close to halftime. Getting close to the half. Forty-third minute. Still a very 43rd minute. Still 1-1. Oh, Matias Almeida coaching at Sevilla now. Matias Almeida is coaching at Sevilla now. Well, that's good for him. Amazing. Amazing. Playing forward. Forty-fourth minute. Saved. Still 1-1. Still a very tight game. Honestly, a sort of boring match if you were looking for CONCACAF craziness after dark. We haven't had it yet. CONCACAF craziness, we ain't had it yet. Speaking of, still 0-0 at the half between Motagua and Cartagenas as well in the other game at this hour. Two different stadiums, okay. 55th minute. Two minutes of stoppage time. Playing forward. Estelí steals, but there's really no run to be made. Gets fouled as the ball gets passed through. 1 minute to go. Free kick for Xelajú with 30 seconds to go in the half. Two minutes in, here's the free kick. 1-1, uno. 'Free kick. It's going to be a far out one, so should be interesting. Hernandez gets a yellow card. Probably the last kick of the half here, I would presume. Over the top. Header. That's going to be a halftime whistle. 1-1 at the half. 1-1. Medio tiempo. We'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going. And frankly, if this game ends this way, I won't review it. If this game ends 1-1, I'll just leave this as a stream and be done with it. But we have 45 more minutes, so let's see how this goes. But 1-1 at the half. 1-1 medio tiempo. Sit tight, we'll be back. We're back for the stats of the half. 63% possession, 37% possession. We have 1 offside to 1, 4 corners to 2, 272 passes to 159 passes, 85% pass accuracy to 77% pass accuracy, 12 crosses to 5, 1 goal to 1, 6 shots to 3, 1 shot on goal to 1, 5 tackles to 11, 5 clearances to 23, 3 fouls to 4, 1 yellow card to 1, 0 red cards to 0, and it is 1-1, uno medio tiempo. For me, I'd say it's a pretty even game. With that being said, it's a tough situation for Estelí. They have to win to have any chance of advancing to the next round. And right now, they're solid. They're playing solidly. But even game, sort of boring. And Estelí at least got the equalizer, but they need to win. Even drawing isn't really helpful for them. By the way, still 0-0 draw at the half of Cartaginez and Motagua. So, as it stands at the end of the weekend, these standings are actually live on CONCACAF's website, which is awesome. Plaza Amador with 6 points after playing 2 games. And Antigua GFC, 4 points, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw. They have 1 more game to play, so the best they could do is 7 points. Alianza, 4 points after 2. They beat Managua. Alajuelense was on their bye week. They have 3 points after 2 with 2 more games to play. The best they could do is 9 points. So as long as they beat Antigua GFC, they very likely will advance to the next round as defending champions moving on. Plaza Amador very likely should be able to handle unless they choke. But they beat Alajuelense and Antigua, so if they choke, it's going to make everything go completely awry. Alajuelense very likely will advance as long as they do their damn job. Managua, 0 points after 3 matches. They're probably cooked. Well, they're definitely cooked, but they only have 1 more to play, so it's either next week or the week after. Group B, Municipal on 5 points, top of the group with 5 points. They beat Real España, drew Sporting San Miguelito, and drew Dillon. Dillon with 4 points, 1-1-1. They lost to Sporting San Miguelito. They beat Herediano and drew Municipal. They're in 2nd place. Sporting San Miguelito are in 2nd place or 3rd place with 4 points, but they have 2 games played. So the best Dillon can do is 7 points. The best Miguelito could do is 10 points. The best Municipal could do is 8 points. So if Municipal wins their last match, which would be against Herediano, that's going to be tough. Herediano has 3 points with 2 games played. They play Miguelito and Municipal. They could still advance. Group B is not even decided yet, really. Real España, bottom of the table with 0 points. The best they could do is 6. They're probably cooked. How we doing, Cellar Door? How we doing? Group C, Motagua, drawing. So as it stands, they're on 7 points. Top of the table. Saprissa, 6 points. They only have played 2. They had a bye week this week. 6 points. Independiente had a bye week on the first week of the tournament. Won their game. Lost the first. They're on 3 points. They lost to Motagua, so that's going to be tough. They have to play Saprissa, so are they advancing? Probably not. Cartaginés, 1 point with this game being played against Motagua as we speak. Their second game, 1 point. Verdes, 0 points, 3 losses. Probably Motagua Saprissa, but Independiente could throw up a possibility of advancing. Yep, Red Bulls got eliminated by Philadelphia. They will not win the trophy, Red Bulls. Yes, I remember your bet. That's why I brought that up the way I did. Xelajú leading the table of Group D with 7 points during this game, which is a draw as we speak. Olympia, second place with 6. They've only played 2, and they had a bye week this week. Aguila with 3 points. They beat Hercules, lost their first match. They lost to Xelajú. Aguila did. Real Estelí has 1 point as it stands. 7 points would be their best chance, but they lost to Olympia, so it'd be very hard to jump Olympia unless Olympia lose to Xelajú and Aguila. The first thing may happen. The second, not so much. Hercules, 3 losses, 0 points. So, very likely Olympia and Xelajú go through this group. But if Estelí does not win this match. If they win this match, then we'll see what happens. Second half about to start. I know. They're not guaranteed to get it. You're right, because Vancouver's the best team in Canadian soccer right now. Toronto's not. Vancouver's actually good. That's the problem. You're right. They're not. They're not even 100% guaranteed to get to the final, but even if they do, guess who they're probably running into? The Vancouver Whitecaps. Unless Toronto calls the Pirate, even the Toronto should win at least the Voyageurs Cup thing. That's the bare minimum. Ain't even the case anymore. Because even then, Vancouver is still probably the better team. It's the truth. Yeah, you're right. Vancouver's just that good. You're right. You're right. Vancouver's made it to a point where, at this point, they're the ones that are guaranteed to win it. At this point, they're the ones where you could say bare minimum's the Voyageurs Cup. That used to be us. That used to be Toronto. But Vancouver is taking advantage of the time that Montreal and Toronto suck ass. Which kind of makes me want to see Forge somehow pull this off when they play them at BC Place and hold on and win the tie. Well, besides the fact I'm a Forge fan, but you know what I mean. I would absolutely love Forge to outplay Vancouver and pull through. Another ad interrupts the stream. Yeah. When you're monetized, that's going to happen. Bonilla's coming on. Bonilla's coming on for the second half. Let's see if that's good for Real Estelí. Here we go, second half. Here we go, second half has begun. 1-1, 1-1. Casado is on for Ordóñez, and Byron Bonilla is on for Preciado. So they've made some subs they need to make. The question is, can they win the game? '46th minute. Estelí has to win to basically have any actual chance of advancing to the next round, to the knockout stage. If they don't, they're cooked. That's how YouTube works. That's how YouTube works. That's live. Whether somebody's monetized or not, but playing forward, 47th minute. Playing forward. One. 1-1. 48th minute. Playing over the top. Estelí trying to get the goal that gets them to survive. That's true. Good point. Cross in. This is true. Would also suck if you get like a 60-second ad or more. That is a good point. Like those damn movie trailers or whatever. 49th minute. '49th minute. 49 of 90. Good foot save. Not enough to get it cleared, but at least it's not in the back of the net, which that's the main corner, which that's the main objective here. If you're Estelí, keep the ball in the back of your own net. Well, that's, first of all, that is the main objective. The second objective is score. If you keep the ball at the back of your net, score. Header. I mean, as a viewer, they suck. I don't know what ads get served on my videos. They don't tell me. I still think people have to click the ad itself, though, as well. So even if people watch the ad. But either way, as a viewer, it sucks. Yeah, it's those like trying to sell you shit ads, yeah. It's like those infomercial ads like, "Hey, here's this freaking course or whatever, you know? There's this course or whatever that we have to take, that you should take." I know exactly what you're talking about. Noble Gold. Well, I don't know if they've done that, but you know what I mean. Like, buy this gold. Buy this scaling course. Buy this. I get what you're saying. 51st minute. Yeah. Shot. Goal kick. It's going to go behind for a goal kick. '52nd minute. '53rd minute, playing forward. Estelí, they're keeping it out of the back of their net. That's the main point. The fact is they haven't put it into the back of Xelaju's net since their equalizing goal. And even then, that was helped along by Xelajú with a deflection. So, not the prettiest. The first point, good. Second point, second objective, no. Your first objective, yes. Second objective, no. So that's purchase this timeshare. That's also some of them, yeah. Playing forward. Header. Playing forward. 54th minute. 1-1, 1-1. Xelajú. Out for a corner. They're going to call for a corner. Header. Cleared. Here's a shot. Goal! Goal! 2-1 Xelajú. Out of nowhere. And that's Estelí now has to score 2 to save their own ass. That's probably going to be the dagger. Damn good goal, too. Damn good goal by Aparicio. Aparicio just says, I'm going to take a shot. Ball falls to him and deflects off a defender as well. The deflection giveth and the deflection taketh. 2-1. 2-1. Jorge Aparicio with a goal. Two to one. Even with that, I still don't feel like. Even with that, I still don't feel like doing a review tonight. To be honest. Playing forward, 57th minute. Cross in. Nope. Be a goal kick, 57th minute. Cross, that'll be cleared. 58th minute. Xelajú. I think his contract legitimately ran out and they didn't re-sign him. No, it's not a work. It's not like R-Truth. I believe Cross when he says it's a shoot. I believe him. I believe him. I have no reason not to. I think the dude's a straight shooter. I don't think. And honestly, '59th minute. I mean, they can bring him back, but I don't know if he will go back. Whether it's free kick for Estelí. 2-1. Shot, header, clear. Out for a corner. Brought down. Goal kick. No, Theory's just injured. Gomez off for Baez. '61st minute. '62 minutes in. Oh. Doing the Ballon d'Or stream? No. Cleared away. Two deflections led to 2 goals. '63rd minute. Throw in. 63rd minute. 2-1, 2-1. Played forward, 2-1. Caught. '64th minute. He just got to Vancouver. He was flying there yesterday. And then he got announced today. He probably will play, but he probably did need a pre or off season because he just played the Club World Cup. And he played a full season before that. So, yeah, he needed a break. So I understand him taking a break before he went. And they're top of the West. So, and they probably, and let's be real, they don't need Thomas Muller to beat Forge. The squad they have that's their A squad should be able to beat them at BC Place. Even though he's going to be probably bedded into the squad by September 13th or 16th. But they don't need him to beat Forge. The squad they put out last night, the draw was fair because they basically put their best bench players with a couple of their starters on the field. And they were on the road. But at home, they don't need him. If it was next week, no, they didn't need him. Which they totally could do it next week, considering Vancouver never played the frickin' Leagues Cup anyway. But, you know, another two teams are, I guess they were seeing if Montreal, when they scheduled it, I guess they were seeing if Montreal would make it. And then they didn't. Just going by the, the conventional wisdom that Montreal would probably make it to the semifinals, depending on what happened with the Leagues Cup. But either way, they don't. I'd be very happy if it happens. I'd be very happy if it happens. It's going to be tough, but I'd be very happy if they pull it off. Over the top, 67th minute. '67th minute. 2-1, 2-1, Xelajú holding on. Cleared away. Yes, he would be available. I'm very sure about that. It's a month away. It's 32 days away. He should be available unless he got hurt within those 32 days. I would assume he's at least on the bench against Forge. I would assume. I'd be shocked if he wasn't. Especially if he was healthy. 69th minute. If they win the Can Champ and make the playoffs, no. Unless they change the Leagues Cup format again and let everybody back in it, no. See, you can only play 2 tournaments out of the 4 of Leagues Cup, Can Champ, U.S. Open Cup, and Champions Cup in a given calendar year. That was a new rule added this year. Vancouver plays Can Champ and Champions Cup this season. They could not play Leagues Cup. They replaced them with San Diego. Even though Vancouver made the playoffs, They were one of the 9 teams per conference to make the playoffs. But because they're in CanChamp, and unlike Open Cup, you cannot, as a Canadian team, replace yourself with your second team or say no to CanChamp. They could not play Leagues Cup. So if they're in CONCACAF, either through the CanChamp or winning the MLS Cup, which is still possible, they would have to play CanChamp and Champions Cup. If they do not make the Champions Cup, but they make the playoffs, because either Forge beat them and knocked them out of the Canadian Championship, or they lose the final to Ottawa or Vancouver Langley, the CPL side, which is very much more unlikely than Forge knocking them out. If they lose the CanChamp in any way and then do not win the MLS Cup, or end up in the Champions Cup through standings backfill, they would be able to play the Leagues Cup and CanChamp, yes. That's the reason Montreal got to play the Leagues Cup, because they made the playoffs but not the CCL, so they got to play CanChamp and Leagues Cup. And the reason Toronto did not make it to Leagues Cup was because they did not make the playoffs last year. So that's the only reason they played just Leagues Cup. Yeah. So basically, if Vancouver does not qualify to Champions Cup through any way possible for them, they will play Leagues Cup and CanChamp next year, because there's no way they won't miss the playoffs. That is a very unlikely situation. Well, where they are, they will be one of the top 9 teams in the West. I think that's pretty obvious. They might fall down to 5th or 6th, but possibility. Shot wide, wise, but they're not going to be get knocked out completely in the playoff. So at the worst case, it's Leagues Cup CanChamp for them. Very likely, probably Champions Cup and CanChamp for them, though. I don't think he's really gotten much of a chance to prove he's not, to be fair. Still a young player. I can't really... I think he has more potential. There you go. Well, let's just look how it ran. Just going by this, from MLS, the MLS Cup 2025 champions will go through to the first round. CanChamp winners will make it. MLS teams, Supporter Shield winners, the Open Cup winner, and 2, 3, and 4 in the Supporter Shield standings, depending on Leagues Cup champion and other situations, an MLS Cup champion will. So basically, where is Vancouver on the Shield standings? They are 5th. So as of now, and Philly, San Diego, Cincinnati, and Nashville all cannot win the Leagues Cup. Playing forward. Shot wide. Philly could still win the Open Cup, though. So if Philadelphia wins, they did not. They tried, though. Yeah. How we doing, Henry? Now, Nashville and Philly can both win the Open Cup. If either one of those 2 clubs do so, unless Vancouver drops down the Shield rankings, they would qualify to Champions Cup through the Shield rankings, no matter what happens with MLS Cup and the CanChamp. As of now, they would not unless Philly or Nashville win the Open Cup. One of them would have to eliminate each other, though. One of them will have to eliminate one or the other. I think Mbappe still has a chance to win Champions League with Real Madrid, even if he doesn't next year, but they got to be a little bit better. So, one of Philly and Nashville will eliminate each other before the Open Cup final to play Austin or Minnesota. And of course, let's not forget, Philly and Nashville both could win the MLS Cup. So, again, and also, if Philly wins the MLS Cup, but also wins the Open Cup, the runners-up of the Open Cup would become CONCACAF Champions Cup, a team in the Champions Cup. So that would either be Austin or Minnesota in that case. Yep. But that also happened because LAFC qualified through the final, being in the final of Leagues Cup. So basically, knowing that the Leagues Cup, none of the top four, Philadelphia, San Diego, Cincinnati, and Nashville, none of those four teams made it to the knockout stage of the Leagues Cup. For now, those top four would advance to Champions Cup as those four teams. Or if the Union qualifies as the Shield winners, then Nashville can, well, then Minnesota or Austin can jump in as Open Cup runners-up. Basically, right now, Vancouver will not qualify for Champions Cup if they don't win Voyageurs Cup. But there are things that could happen over the next 3 months that very much can put them in there, even if they don't win Voyageurs Cup. Still tropical storm, Aaron. Okay. Not a hurricane yet. So as of now, if you're Vancouver, it's Leagues Cup, it's can champ or bust to get into Champions Cup. But very likely so, one of the two teams who are in the top four, the Shield rankings, are going to be in the final of the Open Cup. Whether that be Philadelphia or Nashville. Philadelphia does have to go to Nashville to play Nashville, though. So that makes things a little bit tougher. And then Philadelphia would have to play the final on the road. Whether that be Austin or Minnesota. If Austin or Minnesota win the Open Cup, that's bad for Vancouver. Especially, well, Vancouver will possibly know their fate at the end. While those semifinals are being played, they'll know their fate that midweek. If they lose to Forge, they'll know their fate. They'll know the fate of, are we going to be out? Or is that one thread, is that two threads gone? That being can champ and a backfill due to the Open Cup when it comes to a Shield participant. Or I should say a 50-50 shot if that's a thread gone or not. Because Philly and Nashville, one will have to eliminate the other. And there's no chance for Austin or Minnesota to get up to the top four of the Shield rankings. That's for sure. No disrespect, but... Okay, no, Minnesota might have a chance, actually. They're only a point behind the Whitecaps. Austin has no chance, though. If I remember... Wait. Am I wrong? No, it's Minnesota and Austin. It is Minnesota and Austin. Okay, yep. September 16th. It's the same day. Yep, Minnesota and Austin. Basically, if you're Vancouver, you could see a lot of threads being pulled away from you in the next couple of months for Champions Cup if you lose to Forge. If they don't lose to Forge, they're going to host the final and very likely so beat Vancouver, Langley, the CPL side, or Ottawa. And funnily enough, guess who's leading? Guess who's leading in the Ottawa-Vancouver FC series? Vancouver Langley, yes. Shockingly so. They did have the game at home, though. Ottawa could still come back. Ottawa could still come back. But, you know. '81st minute, 2-1 Xelajú. So basically, yes. Playing forward. Oh. '82 minutes, 2-1. 2-1. '82 minutes in. I know, I heard. Playing forward, Xelajú. If they get a third, that's going to do it! Yes! 3-1! 3-1! 3-1. Oliveira. De Oliveira scores. And Real Estelí is cooked. Max Pacioretty could be going to the Oilers. Damn. Not surprised, though. 3-1. Oliveira makes the run. Oh, he passed the ball away. Actually, scoring was Baez. Oliveira got the assist. Baez gets the goal. Damn good shot, though. But that's Estelí's tournament over. That's game, and that's Estelí's tournament over. Pedro Baez makes sure Xelajú eliminates Estelí. All but eliminates Estelí. '83rd minute. 3-1. 3-1. That'll do. Still 0-0 between Motagua and Cartagenas. What a bunch of frauds. Motagua are frauds. Again. What a bunch of frauds. What a bunch of absolute frauds. Jesus Christ. They are trash. Playing back to the goalie. No, he's going to turn around and try to clear it. Is that smart? Who knows? Yeah, no RSR tonight. No. No. Playing forward. Even though it's been 3-1, it's still kind of a boring game. I don't think there's much for me to talk about, really. 85th minute. There's 2025 Leagues Cup, 2025 MLS Cup. Yep. That's still possible, but I'm just talking about the top 4 right now. But yes, Orlando, Seattle, and Miami can end up winning the Shield. There's still enough match weeks for that to mathematically happen, yes. But I was talking about what the top 4 is right now and where Vancouver is right now. What's the score? 3-1, Xelajú. 3-1. '86th minute. Motagua always the bridesmaid. How are they? They might just draw to Cartagenas. What a bunch of frauds. 86th minute. Playing forward. Yeah, they did beat Pachuca when everybody thought Pachuca would actually win the tournament. And then the next year, Pachuca wins the Champions Cup when nobody had any idea that they would do it. Pretty dominantly, too. The Redemption Tour panned out well. For sure. For them. Seems to me Pachuca loves, whenever they get embarrassed, honestly, whenever Pachuca gets embarrassed, that's when they start playing better. So that's why they're probably good at Liga MX right now. Can any USA club repeat what the 2017 version of Toronto did? Yes. Philly is close. Philly is 2 games away from winning the Open Cup. They're top of the Shield rankings right now. And the way they're going, they might be one of those clubs that actually win both the Shield and MLS Cup. Like, I actually believe Philly is damn good right now. Like, Philly is a tough team to beat. Very tough team to beat. And in my opinion, I think they could be the first American team to have trouble. They could do it this year. And it wouldn't shock me if they did, really. Wouldn't shock me if they did. They definitely could win the Shield. They're top of the table right now. They're 2 games away from winning the Open Cup. They have to play both away, but they're 2 games away. And their record since Gold Cup has been absolutely wonderful. They haven't lost since Gold Cup. They've had a couple of draws, like one to Toronto at home, but they have not lost since Gold Cup. They are on really good form right now. Now, the question is, what the real question is if right now they've peaked a little bit too late. They've had a good season, but there were a little bit of valleys. There were a couple of valleys, mostly the Gold Cup, but the East is kind of shoddy this year. Let's be real. And I think that helps them. Even the West, too, really. Like, being top of the Shield, they're not perfect. I wouldn't say Philly was perfect up until post-Gold Cup group stage. They're certainly perfect now, but some good results in the first half, plus their really good second half so far. You know, good for them. 90th minute. They did not make the playoffs last year. That's why they weren't in Leagues Cup, which might have helped them. Well, I don't know how much it did, but 90th minute could have helped. 93 minutes of the Motagua game. See where their game stops. Shot over the bar. 4 minutes of stoppage time. 3-1, 3-1. Yeah, no RSR tonight. This game's pretty simple to talk about. There ain't much for me to really dig into, so. $3:30 to go. Oh, by the way, Motagua was playing at home, by the way, just to be clear. And they've drawn 0-0 to Cartagenas. And it's 4-1 Xelajú. And that's going to do it. Well, Leagues Cup technically is not a domestic treble. That's an international trophy. Toronto did a domestic treble. Playing forward. Bad giveaway. And Xelajú pots it. It's 4-1, 4-1. That'll do it. And that's going to be the fourth goal for Cardosa. Cardosa gets the goal. Heads up play and slots it home. Boom. Cardosa. 92. William Cardosa. 90 plus 1. Four to 1. Still no RSR. 2 minutes. Two more minutes. It's still not full time of the Motagua Cartagenas match? Really? It's still going? 93rd minute. Might as well watch the end of that one once this ends. 4-1. 93rd minute. No RSR. Even though it's 4-1, there ain't much for me to talk about. Really. I'll be back on Saturday for the TFC stream. We have Friday off. And Sunday off. It's just TFC on Saturday. It's full time. 0-0 for Motagua and Cartagenas. Motagua lost to Cartagenas. Lol. 1 minute to go. $20 seconds. Ross to Portland. Portland is cooking right now. I gotta say. Blocked. Throw in. Playing forward. Oh. $4:18. No full-time whistle yet. Full time, 4-1 for Xelajú, and Xelaju's the team to slay Real Estelí. And Real Estelí very much likely will not. Well, they're all but eliminated. Their back-to-back finals appearances will not turn into a three-peat of finals appearances. They did not strike while the iron was hot, and they paid for it. Xelajú 4-1, 4-1. They get the win, and that's good for them. With that being said, if you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe, know what it is, tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed, send chats on the live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlist, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. I will not see you within the hour because honestly, even though this was a 4-1 game, there ain't much for me to pull on when it comes to an RSR. Honestly, I feel a little bit burnt out as well, but really not much to pull on. So I'll see you on Saturday for the live watch along of Toronto versus Columbus. Toronto plays Columbus on Saturday. We have an off day tomorrow. I'll make the stream for Toronto on Saturday and nothing on Sunday because it's still the F1 summer break. So there you go. Toronto, Columbus, 6:30 on Saturday. You'll see me then for that live review on Saturday. Nothing on Friday, nothing on Sunday. See you later. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. See you.